Hey guys, Will from Around the Grounds here, and in today's video we're going to be ranking the fullbacks for the upcoming 2022 season. I'll just state that this was really hard to choose because all these fullbacks are really good players, so yeah, it was hard to rank them, so don't be offended if your fullback isn't where you wanted them. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, now coming in at last place, we've got Nrl Sloan. He's a flashy player, he's played a few games that we saw, but I simply can't put him high because he has not played enough games to be better than the fullbacks above him. But I do think he's a star in the making, so this season we'll be able to see his true potential. But that's why I have him in 16th position. Alright guys, now at 15th position I have Tessie New from the Broncos. He was really good for Brisbane at the end of last year, but he's this low because he has not played fullback for that long. He's only played a couple games in fullback, I believe. He has the potential to push higher, but for now I'm just going to put him at 15th position just due to the quality of the people above him. Alright guys, now moving on to 14th position, and I've gone with Jaden Campbell. He's another superstar in the making, but we just need to see his consistency and how he gels with a new halfback this season. We'll see if the second year syndrome kicks in with him at all, but I don't think so. He just looks like the real quality player, and I'm excited to see what he can do next season. Alright guys, now at 13th I have Hamasel Tabuai-Fidow from the Cowboys. This guy's an absolute gun. He has the qualities to be a really good fullback. He already is a good fullback, but to get to one of those star qualities, he just needs to be more consistent. He needs to just keep doing this year in and year out. He's going to struggle to prove himself this year because the people around him, he does not have the best players that can help him shine. But yeah, I think if we give him a few more years, we'll see his absolute peak, and I think he's going to be a player to watch in the future, as we saw last year. Alright guys, now moving on to 12th position, I've gone with Charles Nickel-Kluckster. Might be a bit of a surprise because he was a gun a few years ago, but I just think he's lost his spark, and that might just be due to the Raiders and how they played last season. But it wouldn't surprise me if he turns up in 2022 and proves to be the fullback that we know he can be. I'm just going to put him at 12th just based on the season he had last season and the fact that I don't think the Raiders will make the 8th this year. Alright guys, now moving to 11th position, I've gone with Matt Duffy, who's now joined the Bulldogs. I could have him high because I rate his attacking play. I think he's a fantastic attacking fullback. He's a really good short passing game. He's very quick and he's very agile. But the one thing that he lacks from his game is having a good defense. I've watched him play multiple games and I just don't think he's that great of a defensive fullback, so that's why I've put him in 11th position. Alright, now at number 10 I've gone with West Tigers fullback Dane Laurie. He was the Tigers, well arguably the Tigers' best player last season. He is a genuine superstar in the making, like the rest of the fullbacks below him, but I think he just has that little bit extra. He's got that little bit of grit and courage, and he puts his body on the line, which for a man of his size is pretty impressive, and that's why I've got him in 10th position. Alright guys, now at number 9 I've got Reece Walsh, who had an absolute breakout season last year, making the Queensland Origin side, which is absolutely unbelievable for someone his age. He's a flashy player, he's got the good qualities that you need for a fullback, but we just need to see if the second year syndrome kicks in for him or if he's just going to be a one season wonder, and that's why I put him at 9th just due to that. Alright guys, now at number 8 we have Dylan Edwards. He's a hard worker, but he only scored 5 tries and assisted 4 times in 2021, but nonetheless he's a valuable member for the Panthers because he does all the hard hitters from the back very well, and he's also one of the safest under the high ball in the NRL, and I think he organises his team well in defence, so that's why I'm going to put him at number 8 because he's a bit more experienced than the fullbacks behind him. Alright, now at number 7 I've got Clint Gutherson, and it was very hard to decide between him and Edwards on who was 8 and who was 7, but I put Gutherson here because he had the second most runs for 2021, so he's always in the mix and he's always putting in the hard yards. He's not necessarily as flashy as the fullbacks that are in front of him, but he's a hard worker, he puts his body on the line, and he's a great captain for the Eels, so that's why I put him at 7th. Alright guys, now at number 6 I have Nicho Hynes. He took the NRL by storm, no pun intended, and he had 25 try assists in 24 games, in which he didn't even start all of those. He's a very skillful player, and he's going to be an absolute asset to the Sharks, so I can't wait to see what he will do in 2022. He has all the qualities, and he's already a star player as we saw last year with the Storm, so it'll be awesome to see what he can do next year, and that's why I had put him at number 6. Alright guys, now before I reveal the next 5 fullbacks, so if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you go and subscribe and like the video, and that'll help me out a lot. But anyways, at number 5 I've gone for Ryan Papenhuyzen. He was plagued by injury in 2021. He had 14 tries from 15 games, which is a good record. He positions himself well. He's got a very bright future ahead of him because he's such a good player at such a young age. But I'm only going to put him in 5th because he didn't play many games last season. But he's an absolute gun, so I had to put him in my top 5. Alright guys, now at number 4, a man who had a quiet 2021 for his standards is Kalyn Ponga. He only had 8 tries, but he only played 15 games and he was injury plagued through that entire 2021 season. We know he's a superstar, but he just needs to play more, so I could push him up further in this list. But yeah, he's just better than all the fullbacks below him, so that's why I had to put him in 4th position. So it'll be interesting to see if he can continue his form this season with the Knights, who have lost a few key players. Guys, now at number 3 we have Rabbitohs fullback Latrell Mitchell, who was suspended for a majority of last year. However, he had 13 tries and 13 assists in 17 games in 2021. He was also in the top 10 tackle breaks with only playing 17 games. He needs to sort out his mentality if he wants to challenge these 2 top fullbacks above him, but we all know the quality that he possesses. But if he can just get his mentality right, he could be as good as these 2 players in the future. So that's why I have him at number 3. Alright guys, now moving on to the number 2 fullback, we got James Tedesco. He was in the top 4 try assists with 22, the top 4 runs with 43, top 5 run meters, and the second in tackle breaks in the league in 2021. So his stats tell you a lot, especially for a Roosters side that was really injury plagued the whole season, more than probably any club in the entire NRL. It just shows how much effort and grit and desire he was putting into his game to come up with those statistics. He's an origin superstar. But I had to put him in number 2 because he's Teddy and he's super consistent. Alright guys, now at number 1, you all know who this is, the man who had an absolutely stellar 2021 season. That's Tom Trbojevic, who had 25 tries from 15 games at 1.67 average. He's a Dally M winner and he's an absolute superstar and carried Manly to the top 4. It'd be interesting to see if he continue this form in 2022, but I had to put him at number 1 for this next season just based on his 2021 season. Alright guys, now that is the end of the video. That is my top 16 fullbacks for this upcoming 2022 season. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you liked the video, and drop your comments on who you guys think are the best fullbacks in the league, and I'll be interested to see your comments and I'll make sure to read through them. So with that being said guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.